Okay, by the way everyone, if you go to justin.tv/winoutnet, then subscribe there. I don't quite know how, but somehow it'll like update you when our stream goes live each time. So then for the final, etc., you'll be able to know when we're going to be casting it. Because I mean, the schedule for the event seems to already be a little bit askew, but we are going to cast the final as well. And in theory, if this semi-final somehow ended super quick and the other one went to a third map, we'd probably be able to cast that as well. On a side note, since Semphis isn't here, so I don't have too much to talk about, if anyone likes MMA but you didn't watch UFC 136 last night, then if by some crazy means there was like a website that allowed you to view this card without paying, I mean, I wouldn't be the kind of person who'd recommend that you'd break the law, but if you were to do that, you'd probably see a really good card that's probably one of the best UFC cards ever. I'd say probably like... I'm not sure if it could beat UFC 100 because there were just so many title fights there, but I think it's like the closest to that level you're ever going to see because they spread out the good fights so much nowadays. But even like some of the, in theory, lower card fights were badass. I mean, they even had Damian Maia fighting on like the undercard on like Facebook or something, or like one of the prelim fights. And Damian Maia probably has like the best jiu-jitsu in all of MMA. And on a side note, Neo from FX probably has the best jiu-jitsu in all of CS. Little known fact. Yeah, we still haven't actually got 10 people live in the server yet, so we'll just wait a little bit more. What's interesting is I wouldn't actually be surprised if... I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if WinFakt had actually been watching Na'Vi from behind, because... I mean, I know that like Lopez, etc. like to do that, so I wonder if they picked anything up watching them on Tuscan. Because the big problem I think they have is, this is one of the problems that WinFakt is going to have. Like I said, the first thing they have to do is like outgame Na'Vi just in the tactical arena. But the problem then is, and this is something that MTW have run into a few times, just because you know what the weak point of the opponent is and how to beat them, doesn't mean you can beat them unless you have that tool in your toolbox. So in MTW's case, sometimes they had a good idea of what to do against Na'Vi, but they didn't have a skilled enough player in that particular spot, or the wrong player survived and the wrong player died. Like, unless you are a team like SK where they have like top to bottom really good individual players, you don't necessarily have the luxury of just being able to do anything at any time. By the way, apparently the first map is Tuscan, second map is Train, and it's Inferno if needed.
Ooh.
See, the problem there is, going back to the topic of what we said in the SK game, like, Tuscan followed by Train versus Na'Vi, that's not a good look for WinFakt. I mean, if they were to split one of those maps and then get to Inferno, then they have a much better chance. But even then, we've just seen Na'Vi kind of controlling a lot of rounds on Inferno. So, I mean, that's their best chance, but then again, they probably have a psychological disadvantage since Na'Vi shredded the plastic lineup of WinFakt on Inferno E-Stars. I mean, yeah, I think the biggest problem for them is even if they win Tuscan, I don't see how then Na'Vi don't just come back on Train and just blaze them. So, like, they can't possibly get the psychological advantage on Na'Vi, in my opinion.
I don't understand, like, how these, like, votes are working, though, because if Na'Vi remove nuke, then that means that they could have only removed one custom map. Wouldn't it have been smarter for WinFakt to just leave Forge in and hope to get lucky on it? Because that means that Tommy's team probably removed Forge.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Like, it's like if we were... Here's the thing, right? Teams like WinFakt don't play trying to gay people and win one game. They believe that they can become better and actually get to be a top team again. So as a result, they're trying to play like what the ideal thing to do would be to get better. So the ideal thing would be to play normal maps. So they might throw Forge because I don't think they actually are good on Forge, or it's never been proven. So as a result, there's no reason to gamble that you... Like, for them, it's probably better to play Inferno than to play Forge, believe it or not. Like, better to take the known than the unknown.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, personally, I would have kept it in, because I would want to make the game as random as possible and introduce as much weird things that can happen as possible, because anytime you take Navi out of their comfort zone, then you're going to at least be making things interesting.
Well, you saw the last time Navi played Forge, they got smoked on it. They got like 16-8 in
yeah, but the
FX.
problem is, that's also FX. And FX versus anyone in history on T-side can just be like unstoppable.
But it wasn't even fully the T-side, like that's a T-sided map, and FX
No, I think it was like
got,
8-7 or something.
Yeah, and then they 8-0'd them on CT, so that's pretty crazy. I don't know.
But then again, Navi also are playing in a best of one.
Yeah.
And Navi many times in 2010 were able to lose a first map and still come back and win the series.
I guess at the same time, Tommy's team or WinFakt probably didn't practice Forge either, so that might be another thing. I think they had been practicing Inferno a lot.
Are you in the server?
Yep. There's 10. The whole teams are ready right now. The admin just said let's roll. So if you're not in here, you should probably join. Are you in here?
I'm having to update Twitter.
It's going live right now. Navi's actually starting T-side again. This is a half where I believe that, like, WinFakt definitely needs to get that CT pistol right off the bat. They're going for an aggressive push here at middle. Navi's actually doing the same pistol round strat they did last time. They're doing their, like, 2 or 3 sewer strat on the pistol round. WinFakt already pushed all the way down into 2, or making that, like, secondary, the 2 watcher fall back. Yeah, they're taking A for free again.
Yep, and they're able to just go right in.
This is almost the same scenario that happened first SK.
And now all the, well, 3 of the WinFakt players are going to go kitty side. Oh, that's very unfortunate that when Nasu stepped out, he had to fire at a different guy than he initially wanted to fire at.
Yeah.
Ah, and on top of that, Jigatus TKs. And he has to go really fast here. He's not going fast enough.
Oh, that was almost a really nice attempt. He actually could have potentially won that. Zeus had, like, really low HP.
Like, it was actually pure happenstance, but I don't know if it was Zeus, but whoever it was who stepped out in front of Nasu, he was about to take a one-on-one with the guy on the box, and then suddenly that other guy basically, like, jumped in front of his crosshair, and he had to, like, flick over, and as a result, it kind of got caught between the two and killed. So that might have been the entry to give them a chance.
It seems like both pistols, Navi got a tiny bit lucky on how the little battles went with the Glocks. I mean, the last time Edward kind of got a crazy round, but... Yeah, just a standard eco round for Navi just holding all the way back. I mean, that's pretty much the way you got to do it on this map. There's no reason to push up early because the only way for CTs to really get you on a pistol on an eco is to push. So if you just hold all the way back at storage area, the end of storage area 1 and 2, there's not really much they can do. And WinFakt are playing a little bit more passive on this eco round. They went for a delayed one. Oh, really nice shots by Nasu. That's a decent little eco round for them. First gun round, pretty much really going to set the tone to how this match is going to go. If Navi wins this round, I could see the similar thing of versus SK of just cleaning house with their T side. WinFakt playing super. I mean, this is almost the exact same thing we saw of SK do.
This is actually the kind of map also where, actually I think Nasu's the player who has to be like the man for WinFakt, because in my opinion he's easily their best clutch round player. Okay, so they trade and then Basic gets a kill at Kitty and he's actually still
Zeus is actually about to come out the
nice second kill. Really good position here for WinFakt.
Yeah, they just can't,
they're gonna win this.
They can't give Starks any kills here. They just gotta kill him straight up. Take that op. Don't let him get a pick.
There's actually still too much time for them to peak, so they have to just run the clock off like you say.
Hopefully Aslak, yeah. That's a good round from WinFakt. Basically the thing that Aslak did that was a little bit smarter than Delpan was Delpan just kept trying to fight middle. As soon as Aslak got spotted there and didn't kill that guy, he just fell back into the window room with his op and held and let the guys walk up and just kill him, you know? Instead of trying to battle those guys at the bottom of the ramp. Looks like WinFakt's going for a more aggressive 2-push this round. They have Nasu over here this time. Lurpus is actually in the tunnel. They're doing their like EG retake that they used to do where they push 3 on the second side. There's some nice picks going down right there. Aslak is actually in a pretty bad spot. Well, he's not in a bad spot, but he moved off away from holding Kitty. Lurpus is actually in a good position though to win this round for him.
I mean, the key thing here is how Starix how long he chooses to stay down there and when he rotates back up, I think.
Yeah. That's a really big pick by
I mean, he
Aslak.
can really decide this round here. There we go, there's one that evens it up.
Oh, huge pick by Lurpus right there.
He has to let him defuse, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's no way Starix could really want it right there. I mean, if Tommy died right there, coming out of the door, that was a really, like, weird scenario where the guy was kind of in a weird spot. He just whipped and killed him. If he died, I'm pretty sure the round would have been lost. And those are the rounds that Navi usually end up winning, you know, those random, like, lucky positions they get. Aslak played really nice there, just, he didn't let them get that pick.
Lurpus is actually pushed up to the middle. Sonny gets the kill though. Now there's 2 guys in storage area. Which
yeah,
one
they're
is
all
that
rushing
one on the
up.
right?
Kitty already. Nice pick by Aslak. It's getting flash. Ooh, huge pick off Starux. He's really hitting some nice op shots right now.
Oh, that was initially nice spraying, but then Aslak gets the kill. And another round for WinFakt.
Oh, that Aslak is really on fire right now. All his kills, I think, are just op kills. I don't know if he has any other frags with a like a